Let's have another look at the oil price, because we have seen signs lately of shrinking U.S. stockpiles. So there is oil actually moving up about 1% on the day, but it's been in a pretty tight range lately. So we're above $79 today. Generally, the prices floated between $77 and $82 US for WTI this month. There was a drop in US stockpiles of about 2.5 million barrels last week. According to Bloomberg, that was the first back-to-back decline since March, and it brought nationwide US storage of petroleum to the lowest in nearly a month. But of course, oil has come down from the highs it got to after Hamas attacked Israel in October. TD says it hopes it can soon work out a resolution to this series of regulatory and law enforcement probes it faces in the US over allegations that the lender was used to launder money. And we've seen reports that these claims are linked to a massive drug smuggling operation in the States, fentanyl said to be involved. TD Bank facing probes by 3 different regulators, as well as the US Department of Justice. And the TD itself has admitted that its money laundering controls were inadequate. Our guest says TD is facing a massive fine on top of hundreds of millions of dollars lost in market cap, stock market value, as these allegations came out. But are we looking at a broader culture of money laundering in Canada? We're joined by Matt McGuire, Principal and Practice Leader at the AML Shop. Thanks very much for joining us. Matt, tell us, what do you do at the AML Shop? What's your business model?
Oh, thanks for having me. Listen, so our focus really is on helping businesses figuring out what their money laundering risks are and how to protect them from them.
We have heard this for many years. We have this expression, snow washing. Canada is seen as a soft touch when it comes to money laundering compared to other countries. Is this country quite lax?
It is one of the best places in the world to launder money, as it turns out. We have, the awful combination of, anonymous corporations and just a horrible record for convicting and for taking away the money from criminals.
As far as I know, for many years, you could set up a numbered company in Canada and just hide who actually owned it, in contrast to many other jurisdictions.
Yeah, still a huge problem here. We're talking about the ability to open up corporations in minutes and, the ability to hide behind those structures, behind trusts, behind Nova Scotia corporations, without really ever having to meaningfully identify the people that are making the decisions and are benefiting from that corporation.
Penalties seem to be very low in this country. That seems to be one of the problems.
This is one of the biggest problems with enforcement against financial institutions. When it comes down to it, the amount of tools in FinTrack, our financial intelligence unit's toolbox, to be able to issue penalties to big banks are just insufficient. I mean, the same penalty the maximum penalty of $500,000 can apply equally to a small jeweler in a mall as it can to a billion-dollar financial institution. And so those tickets don't have a dissuasive effect.
That's interesting. So $500,000 is the maximum penalty FinTrack, which is the specific money laundering agency, can bring in.
That's right. So $500,000 is the maximum penalty for just about every infraction, from not understanding money laundering risks to not having a good training program. And so you couple that with their approach to examinations of big banks. And so in the case of TD, they looked at 178 accounts of their 27.5 million clients. And so some tiny percentage, right? And so the maximum possible penalty is, how many of those were bad of 178, and that that number remarkably was 10%, over 10% of the cherry-picked files that showed that things were unreported that appeared to be money laundering.
There seems to be a kind of an apathy on the regulatory frontier. You say the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions, in theory, has a group dedicated to a group dedicated to money laundering, but that has kind of petered out now.
That's right. We had a very specialized group that was focused on this. And the important distinction here is between FinTrack's role, which is really like writing speeding tickets for going too fast, which is not a big deal if you could just keep paying the tickets and keeping your license. OSFI has the power, like institutions in the US have the power to really put you on bank probation. That means limiting the activities you can do, not letting you acquire other banks, and in the meantime, focusing very heavily with specialized resources, looking at things like artificial intelligence in the battle against money laundering. And so if we had that specialized unit here like they have there, this might have been discovered on our own soil and not abroad.
Why is that? It's just the Canadian public don't care about it. I mean, it's not that hot button an issue, is it? But it is very important, doesn't it? Because it enables dictators around the world to rip off their own people, and fentanyl smugglers, you name it. It is an important thing.
Hugely important, and dovetails with sanctions, right? If we can't get anti-money laundering right, if we don't know who's transacting and whose money is flowing through our system, sanctions become entirely ineffective against Russia, against any other jurisdictions where we have policy imperative. And the only message that seemed to really resound a few years back was that money laundering increases house prices. Somewhere between 5 and 7% of the value of housing is inflated because of illicit funds in our economy fueling those prices.
So is it just a cultural thing? Canadians just don't care about this?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the point is we export our violence through this apathy. When it comes down to it, we have the lowest violent crime rate that we've had in over 25 years. And so, the money's being made and the economy's being propped up by money laundering, and it's not politically expedient to go after it.
The Americans have had Canada on a list for being sloppy, a jurisdiction of primary money laundering concern for many years. Could Canada ultimately lose out here if we get labelled internationally as a bad actor or sloppy in our controls?
Absolutely, and listen, in the case of TD, the problem here is well beyond the penalty. The penalty may seem significant. We're talking about nearly $1 billion and probably more in remedial costs. The problem is that every jurisdiction in the world has rules on their own banks to be careful about banks that have penalties like this. And so they're worried about their banks being tainted by ours, and it'll impact the reputation of our financial sector. And our banks are going to have to do more work internationally to allow money to still flow through those institutions. This is the big problem.